Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Montreal Canadiens franchise mode. So in last episode we started up the 2027-28 season, and so far we have a record of 19-29-4, so we're off to a very bad start, and that's kind of what I expected, because in the episode before last episode we didn't sign anybody at all, and we're just playing our young guys, kind of getting this young team to grow a bit more. As you can see, our team is not strong at all. It's mostly probably this top six pairing. The two of these guys have been not that good at all, especially Salmelainen, because I don't know why he's just a minus 17, even with an 89 defensive awareness. And then also our bottom six is probably, I think it was our bottom six. Yeah, it was our third line that's struggling a bit defensively, and our top line has not been that good either. For some reason, Kotkaniemi has dropped down to an 84, maybe due to team performance. So I think he's probably going to be one of these guys that we trade away this year at the deadline, which is still like a month away. So I'm not going to make any moves just yet, but we are going to probably make some trades at the deadline to kind of shape up this team into more of a rebuilder, so we could kind of tank for maybe first overall. And as you can see, both goaltenders currently are struggling so far. Ryder's not being that good at all for his first season, but he is only a backup, and I'm expecting him to be our starter by next season. So if we do make some trades, we're probably going to trade away, like I said, Kotkaniemi, and then we will put in Grin into the lineup. And then also on defense, if we decide to trade away somebody like Shea or Montour, we will call up Mr. Kurt Heatley from the AHL, because he is technically like a top six defenseman almost already. And yeah, that's pretty much what we would be doing. So anyways, let's sim a bit more of this season, get up to the trade deadline, see if we could tank a bit more. We are currently the second worst team in our division, and the worst team in the league still is the Minnesota Wild. So we're currently the third worst team, I think. Yeah, probably around there. So yeah, hopefully we lose a bunch of games still going up to the trade deadline. Then we'll flip away some guys, and then hopefully the team falls apart even more so. And then hopefully we can get some good picks in next episode at the draft. Because the draft is not the strongest draft. There's no franchise player, but hopefully we could get somebody decent. So yeah, let's just go right to the trade deadline. See how we simulate in this next, I guess it's the next half or so of the season. So Davis Paxu has been injured with an abdominal strain, and he won't return till the 23rd. That's not good, because I want to be playing those youngsters, seeing if they grow or not. So we beat the Ducks, who are doing worse than us, but then we lose to Chicago. Not a surprise there, really. But yeah, I don't really know what we're going to be trading for, because like I suggested in last episode for you guys to give me suggestions for trades, but I just realized I had to pre-record a couple more episodes because I still have a couple more weeks left of holiday time. So unfortunately, I have to pre-record this episode, so you guys will not get to give me any input at all. So we are getting a trade offer from Brandon Montour that's not that bad. So we're giving up Montour in our own third round pick. We're getting Buffalo's third round picks, which is a later third rounder. And we're getting Ludwig, who is a center top six forward prospect, who looks like he's on this minor league deal. 74 overall at 21. He probably, I feel like this guy won't make it, so I'm not going to accept that deal. Even though I wouldn't mind doing that, because he could end up being a good, like, maybe third liner, that guy, but still. So the Minnesota Wild have fired their head coach. Maybe we should think about firing our own coach soon as well. So trade alerts. So Colin Miller, I think that is, in the third and the fourth, head to the Florida Panthers for Varakis and Ludwig. Interesting. We beat Florida there, but we are still letting in a lot of goals, which is what I was expecting. So here's another trade offer. Our third and the fourth. I don't really want to give up our picks, so for Albin Eriksson and Vinny Heinola, or is it Ville Heinola or Vinny Heinola? I think it's Ville. I won't accept that though, because like I said, I just don't want to move those picks, because even though we're listed as hopeful, this team is more of a rebuilder. Another trade, Lucas Johansson and Colin Miller. So Colin Miller being dealt twice already, and Ladine and Alexandrov go the opposite direction. So we got 3 more games right before the trade deadline. So it seems like we've been simulating better without Paxpu in the lineup, but I would rather Paxpu be in the lineup, because Paxpu is how old? 24 years old. He's a bit of a late bloomer. He was a later round pick, so I think this guy's gonna be more of a third line player at best, not a top 6 forward. But so our third and Simonteville. I don't really want to do that. No thanks. But I'm gonna have to probably look for some trades for Kotkaniemi, because there was no trade offers last time I tried it. So we'll see if we could find some offers. So Sekera in a second and Cheng head to Anaheim for Lindholm and Terry. Anaheim's still continuing on the rebuild path, even with their franchise guy, which is kind of crazy. So our 7th round pick for Francis, who's a high bottom 6. It's kind of an interesting offer. I don't really want to give away our 7th because we could still find some late round steals. Who is this Francis guy? Ryan Francis, high bottom 6, 26 years old. He's nothing really. Still kind of an interesting offer because for a 7th round pick to get a guy that could play maybe on your 4th line, that's not a bad offer. Okay, so we're at the trade deadline, 23, 36, and 4. Not good at all. The rebuild is continuing, which is good. So we have 50 points. The lowest team below us has 37. So Minnesota's still the worst team in the league. And it looks like they're probably going to stay that way because they already have 43 regulation losses and we only have 36 by comparison. There is a chance for them to pass us probably though. Okay, so let's take a look at what we could do for some trades here at the deadline. It's going to be kind of hard to find some trades because some of these guys don't have much teams interested. So Kotkaniemi, no trades found still. I'm going to still try and look for a trade for him because he's dropping off. He's got 1 year left and I'm not going to be paying him a lot of money. I would rather be keeping someone like Lafreniere and Caulfield, all those guys together. So we could look for Brady Shea or Brandon Montour, see if we could find any offers for those guys. So Brady Shea, nobody wants him probably because of the cap hit, which is kind of annoying because he's making like $8 million. And then Brandon Montour, we do have offers for Montour. So we could get Albert Tozer, who's a medium top 6 prospect, probably a German guy, I would assume, with that last name. Let's see how good he is. 72 overall, and he's probably not going to reach his potential. Yeah, I don't really like that one at all either. What could I do? Let's take a look at what's on the block. Maybe this might be a long episode just because it's going to take a while for me to find an actual trade, I think. So let's go to the trading block, see if there's anybody out there that actually I could use. Cooley would be okay, but I don't really need to make the defense better. Anybody that is young and good maybe? It's probably just young good prospects, but I don't know if I could get any of them because cap is the main problem for most teams probably when picking up someone like Kotkaniemi, because who has really 11 million in cap space? Yeah, there's definitely, and there is some decent players, but Philip Heel is not that bad. I almost said Cheadle. It's Heedle. He's not a bad player, but I don't think we really need him. Yeah, I might just go to let's just go to the trade thing, see if there's any teams interested in Kotkaniemi, because him and then one of the defensemen for sure I want to be flipping away just because they have 1 year left and I don't think I'm going to be re-signing them. So Arizona has interest in Kotkaniemi. What do they have that I could use? So their forwards, do they have too much forwards or no? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7. This guy's kind of an extra. Yeah, you know what? This might not be a bad deal. So Dunham might be, if that's 7 guys above an 87, they're all probably, listed as, top 6 at least. So this guy might be a third liner on the team. So we could try and bring in Dunham. Yeah, I think that makes sense. He's got 1 year left for them, so we'd have to re-sign him, but I think that would be okay. Arizona would be over salary cap, apparently. So we could retain a bit of salary, probably. How much do we have to retain? Okay, retain 125,000. I wonder if we could get a pick out of this as well. Because if we get a young guy like Dunham, maybe we want to keep that guy around for a bit. So they don't have their first for this year, which is not a good thing for them. So we'll see if we could take back I don't know if we could get our first from next year. We could try it. So Dunham and a first for Kotkaniemi. Let's see if this goes through, and it's rejected. I was kind of expecting that. How about their second for next year? Yeah, that could work as well. Still rejected. What if I just did Dunham straight up for Kotkaniemi? And that's accepted. Okay. So that's kind of an interesting deal because like it doesn't make us weaker, and it doesn't really get rid of that roster player, but it does pick up a good young guy, and then it gives them Kotkaniemi, who like more than likely is gonna want to have a lot of money, so he could end up being a free agent. And if we bring Dunham back, that would be good. So Dunham is going to be probably our first line center now. Let's go to best lines for now. And then let's make a trade with one of the defensemen. I think out of the two of them, we might not be able to get rid of Shea because of his cap hit, because we might be way under salary cap because of that. So we could try and trade away Montour instead. Let's see, who else likes Montour? I'd prefer a Western Conference team just because I don't want to play against them that much. So we don't really want a defenseman. Let's see if we could just get a backup pick for Montour. A first for Montour. They'd be over skaters. Any team have any contracts available? Columbus does, but they don't need him. Just because I don't really want a roster player in return. Like I could just call it Peatley instead. Most teams have no roster space. Except for St. Louis. They'd be over... We'd be under the minimum salary cap, unfortunately. By how much? How much is the minimum salary cap? We're like just barely under, so we could retain some salary on this too. Let's just retain 700k. That's still not enough. I'm fine with retaining like a decent amount because he's playing for one more year pretty much with us. 1.5, that's still not enough. We might not be able to get a first for him. Retain 50% of his contract and we'd still be under salary. Yeah, we might not be able to make any more moves because of the salary situation. Just because we're a really young team and most guys are on like minor league deals, so that's probably why. Okay, so anybody else that's interested in him that has room on their team, we'd be still under salary cap. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to move anybody else. I think that's the only trade we're going to do. It might be a weird trade, but I think it could help us out. And I think I'm still going to call up Heatley and then make Salmelainen our depth defenseman, because Salmelainen's not been good at all. Why did it scratch Suzuki when doing that? That's weird. So we'll go to roster moves. And we're going to call up from the AHL team, we'll call up Heatley, and then I think that's all we're going to call up. Yep, that's all we're going to call up is Heatley. Heatley's going to be on our top 6, and then we're going to scratch Salmelainen because I want to give Heatley a chance to prove himself on this team because he will be in the lineup no matter what next season. So Heatley on the top 6 there, and then scratch-wise, we want Suzuki in the lineup. JFK is a third liner, so we'll put him down here. Paling we'll put right there. Paxpoo at center. That looks a bit better, and then we'll put Dunham up, I think. Yeah, I think that looks good. I'm fine with having Swift up there almost because he's a good offensive awareness player. Yeah, I think that looks good. Defensively shaded. I think that's good. Scratched we have... Oh yeah, Suzuki still needs to go in the lineup. Okay, so maybe we do have to... We could put Swift down. Make it something like this. And then Gunler could go back down to the 4th line. Who do I take out of the lineup for this? I guess we keep on Nygren still. Even though I really want to play Nygren, I would still take him out. And we will throw in Suzuki right here. And throw in Suzuki to center, I think. 84 to 83, actually. We'll keep JFK there. Yeah, I think that looks better. Maybe actually do this. So yeah, our lineup looks a bit weaker, not more like a whole lot weaker, but we picked up Terry Dunham, who it looks like a decent player. He wasn't given much of a shot, it seems like, in Arizona, but he's been there for quite a few years, so I don't know. This guy might be a rental or might be a guy that we bring back this offseason. Probably in the offseason we'll bring him back. And then Heatley's going to get a better chance. Yeah, I think that's good. And then in the AHL, let's just go best lines. Yeah, just leave it at best lines. Okay, so that's the only trade we're going to do is trading away Kotkaniemi to Arizona. Hopefully he doesn't do too good over there, and hopefully Arizona doesn't resign him. That way the deal looks better for us, I think. So let's get the rest of the season simulated and see how good Terry Dunham does with us. Hopefully he makes us maybe a bit better, even though we want to kind of be a tanking team. We want also Dunham to be a good fit on this team, so we'll see how he simulates with us. So we lose the first 2 games with Dunham in the lineup, which is okay, but they were better defensive games than the last few, I think. Yeah, so Kotkaniemi might be a bad defensive player. Maybe that's our problem, or was our problem. So let's go 2 weeks, see if we could win some games or if we're going to just continue the tank. We beat the Sharks 7-2, that's kind of surprising. And we lose to Anaheim. I'm hoping we're going to get a really good pick this year, because if we get at least a top 5 pick, we're getting an elite guy who can end up being like a top liner for us, which is something we kind of need, I think. Because Lafreniere is pretty much the only really good forward we have for prospects. Or, well, not really prospects, but young guys. We beat Colorado 5-3. That's also kind of surprising because Colorado's been one of those teams that have won multiple, well, they've not won multiple cups. They've won, President's trophies and stuff like that. So the Ducks have fired their head coach, Damien Erskine. Interesting. Yeah, the Ducks are just not doing that good at all the last few years. We win 3 straight games in a row. That might have been our longest winning streak this season. Are we going to get 50 regulation losses? That'd be pretty nice. It seems weird going for losses only because I usually don't like tanking that much because I find it kind of cheap, but whatever. Game against Tampa Bay is a 4-1 win, so we have 28 wins. Last 3 games of the season. Will we end with 50 losses? We lose to Washington. We lose to Toronto twice in a row, back-to-back shutouts. Wow. So we finished the season 28, 50, and 4. Not a good season at all for our team, but I mean, at least these young guys got the plays, so that's a good thing. And yeah, we finished second worst in the league. Minnesota finished worst with only 20 wins on the season. Yikes. Okay, so actually, I think they still had some games left, right? Yeah, they might have still had some games left. So let's advance the day so we could get that calendar up to date, and then we'll take a look at our player stats and the league stats and all that. So some teams still have one more game left, I'm pretty sure. Yep, that's all of them. Let's take a look at our player stats, see who did what. Hopefully some of these guys still simulated decently. So let's go by centers first. So Terry Dunham, 57 points, was a +9 because he was in Arizona. But he had 9 points in 19 games with us and was a -1. Not too bad. I don't think he even got any power play time, did he, with us? I don't know. But I think I'm going to keep this guy around if I could re-sign him for a decent contract. Morgan Frost, 49 points, but was a -28. I don't know what we're going to do with Frost. He's got one more year left. He might be trade bait in at next deadline or at the draft. Forsback at Carlson, 46 points, but 35 goals. I mean, he's still a pretty good rental piece. When you bring him in for only 2.1 and he scores 35 goals, that's a pretty good deal. Suzuki, 41 points. Paling, 36. Paxbu, 21 points. And 5 points in 8 games for Caden Purcell as a depth guy. Not bad. Left wing wise, Lafreniere, 72 points in 82 games, was only a -9, so he was one of the bright spots on the team. Peltier had 44 points, but was a -34. He's another one of these guys that I probably will be moving out shortly or letting go of. just because he's really bad defensively. Like, as you could see over his few seasons with us, he's a minus 79. So, yeah, we might have to look in getting rid of him. Negrin had 5 points in 12 games as a depth guy and was a plus 7. So he should be in the NHL lineup next season. Maybe. Right wing wise, Caulfield 65 points. Pretty good season for him. Ylonen 51 points, Gunler 19, and Swift had 16 in his first season. Those right wingers actually did pretty good defensively for how many goals against our team had. So our main concern, it seems like, for defensive players is like left wingers and centermen. In terms of defensemen, Brady Shea had 42 points, was a minus 10. He's definitely not going to come back, I think, for next season, because I was trying to trade him away, but our cap situation's kind of screwed up. Lambos had 30 points and was a minus 20. So, I mean, he put up points. He's probably going to come back again, obviously, because he's so young. And he still has that elite potential. Cunning, 24 points, was a minus 12. He kind of struggled a bit more this year, but still looks like a bright spot, definitely, for this team. On tour, 24 points. Zimmerman, 9 points. Salmelainen had 5 points in 57 games, and Heatley picked up 1 goal in his first 19 NHL games and was an even 0, so he might be a decent defensive defenseman. And then goaltending-wise, Sepanen was 21, 42, and 3, not a good season at all for him. And then Ryder was a 7, 9, and 1 with an 886, so both goalies were really bad this season, and none of them had any assists. Let's take a look at player stats for the season, for the entire league. I'd assume McKinnon's still up there. Vladimir Tarasenko, okay, 106 points for Tarasenko, had 65 goals. Damn. Is that top in the league? Yes, it is. Plus minus leader was Jordan Kyrou. Penalty minutes, Rory Eddy, interesting name. Who was the best defenseman in the league for points? Quinn Hughes, 78 points, followed by Mr. Tristan Harkins on the St. Louis Blues with 77 points. He's probably going to win the Norris because he was a plus 42, though. Goalie-wise, the best goaltender this season was Frederik Andersen with 50 wins. Wow. Really good season for a 38-year-old. That's only an 80 overall. Damn. Okay, and rookie skaters, the best rookie this year was Tommy Hunwick with 60 points in Chicago. Okay, let's take a look at the team stats for the season, and then we will sim up to the draft, find out all the awards, the retirements, all that sort of thing, and wrap up the season. And the next episode will be the off season. I'll also be pre-recording that after this. So the best team in the league this year was the Edmonton Oilers in terms of the standings. As I said, we finished, I think, 30th. Minnesota was the worst team, though. Yep, we finished 30th with 60 points. Goals for per game, we were not scoring a lot at all. Our offense was one of the worst. Minnesota had the worst offense. They didn't even score 200 goals this season. Our goals against this season was one of the worst as well. Our power play percentage was one of the worst as well. And our penalty kill percentage was one of the worst as well, or like in the middle. Most short-handed goals this year was from Calgary. How much did we have? I don't even know. Yeah, but we just had a really bad season all around, which is good for our rebuild because we could get a good player at this year's draft. So anyways, we're going to sim up to the awards, and I'll see you guys in a second. Okay, guys, so the Tampa Bay Lightning have won the Stanley Cup, followed by the Grand Rapids Griffins as the AHL champs. So I think Tampa Bay's won multiple in this GM mode now. This is the first time since before Edmonton won that somebody won. Because Edmonton, I think, won back-to-back years before this, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while since I've recorded, so I don't really remember. So the awards, let's see. So Tampa Bay's won the Stanley Cup. Yeah, they didn't win. I don't know when they won. I'm pretty sure they did win in this GM mode once at least. Edmonton won the President's Trophy and was the Dallas and Tampa Bay Stanley Cup Finals. In terms of individual awards, Tarasenko wins the Art Ross and the Hart. Tristan Harkins wins the James Norris. So St. Louis had just a really good year, it looks like. Elias Peterson wins the Lady Byng. Tristan, or not Tristan Humwick. What was that Humwick's guy's name? First name Tommy Humwick. Yeah, it was Tommy Humwick wins the Calder. Taylor Radish wins the Conn Smythe. Frederick Anderson wins the Vezina and the Jennings as an 80 overall. I don't still get that at all. Cutler wins the Masterton. Levesque wins the Adams for Florida. Nico Hischier wins the Selke. Tarasenko wins the Lindsay, and the Richard also going to Tarasenko. In terms of the AHL, anybody for us? I don't think so, right? Nope, doesn't look like it, unfortunately. Okay, so let's actually take a look at the playoff tree to see how all these teams got there. So Arizona did make the playoffs with Kotkaniemi. They got to the second round, so that I don't know if we got any picks from them. I don't think so. I think we might have got one. No, we were trying to go for one, but we didn't. So yeah, anyways, Kotkaniemi got to the second round of the playoffs this year with Arizona. We'll actually take a look at his player stats now because I forgot to do that. Just curious of how he did with Arizona. Hopefully he didn't get much ice time there, and hopefully he just goes to free agency or something. So centers, so Kotkaniemi finished with 47 points this year. He grew back to an 89 again. And he didn't even play on the NHL team. I guess they had a cap problem with him, so they just had to play him in the AHL. So that's kind of interesting that they had to play an 89 in the AHL with 19 points in 18 games. Well, hopefully they don't re-sign him now. Hopefully I screwed up their cap situation. That would be pretty funny. Okay, so let's sim up to the draft, I think. That's all we need to do left. Maybe progress reports. Actually, let's do that first. See if anybody's grown at all. So, modified. So, Swift is growing a lot currently. Ryder dropped back down to a 77. It's weird. It's probably actually going to grow still, though. But we are getting a lot of growth. How about in the system? Yeah, we're still getting a lot of growth, it looks like, in our AHL affiliate. And Stroman is actually NHL ready, so that's good. He's going to be a fourth liner for us next season. Cunning has dropped as well, which is weird. Maybe let's go back once I get to the actual draft. Maybe it's just because of morale or something like that. So yeah, let's sim right up to the draft, find out the retirement, see where we're drafting. Hopefully we have the first overall pick, and we fell back to 5th. That really blows. Toronto moved from 6th to 1. Philadelphia moves from 7 to 2. Ottawa moves from 4 to 3. Minnesota falls back from 1st to 4th, and then we get 5th. Wow, that really sucks. Well, 5th, I mean, we could still get somebody good. At least we're getting, I think, an elite player. Let's take a look at that draft class again. See what we could get. So this guy's projected to go number 1. I don't know if he will go number 1. But he looks like 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Yeah, we're definitely getting an elite guy. And this Conacher guy, if he goes at number 5, could end up being a really good player. Just based on his stats in the United States, 112 points in 67 games. And he's a really big guy. Eric Conacher. I'll probably take him at the draft. That's my guess, at least. That is if he's available still. Let's actually just sort by potential, see if there's anybody that's supposed to go late round that's actually pretty good. There's an elite goalie, but I don't know if we really need one. This guy might be an elite sniper. 4 years away, though. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be a good draft, I think. Let's take a look at those retired players. I don't think we lost anybody. So Ovechkin retires with almost 1,900 points, and he retires with over 1,000 goals in his career. Backstrom also retires. Tavares, Ben, O'Reilly. A lot of big-name guys, actually. Brendan Gallagher, our former player, retires in Dallas at 36 years old. Let's just take a look through his points. So when he left us, he played with Dallas for 3 years. He played pretty solid, but he was definitely dropping off in production. Anybody else interesting of note? Doesn't look like it really. Let's take a look at goaltenders. The best goalie that retired is Sergei Bobrovsky with 509 wins, followed by Ben Bishop, Darcy Kemper, Jack Campbell, Copley, etc. So not the biggest retirement class, but still a pretty big one. Okay, so I don't know if we're going to do the draft interviews yet. We probably won't because I don't want to risk the game crashing like it did last off season. So yeah, Victor Hedman is now a coach apparently. Same with OEL and Jamie Benn. Okay. And here is the coach retirements. Did we lose anybody? I don't think so, right? Nobody in Montreal and nobody in Laval. Okay, good. Okay, so yeah, we're not doing draft interviews just in case because I don't want the game to crash. Let's take a look in those progress reports again, see if any of it's changed since we just looked at it last. Modified, so yeah, Strome's going to be in the NHL, which is nice. Because he was one of those guys I think that we acquired from St. Louis, if I'm not mistaken. Anybody else of note? So Montour and Shea are probably gone this offseason, I think. Ryder is apparently at a 77, but he probably will be a starter next season because his role's a starter now. So I think he's probably actually way better than a 77. Anybody else? Bell is a 77, probably going to be like a depth guy for us at best. In the system, anybody high overalls? Who is the best modified player? Rodin. How about our top 4 prospects that we have down there and our good prospects? So Rene is still really slowly growing. I don't know if he's going to make the NHL, but he is having some good seasons down there in Laval. Anybody else for prospects? So Hibbert looking pretty solid. Collins also looking kind of solid. He had a really good year. Looks like in Everett. Who else we got? Lundstrom. Yeah, we got a lot of good top 6 forward prospects still down there. That, like this Deschamplain guy in QMJHL had 81 points. Hopefully they develop good. And then Perreault, who's our high starter goalie, is up to a 69. So he got a lot of growth this this season, because he was like a 50 something last year, I think. So that's good. He's going to be in the AHL probably soon. And yeah, that's pretty much that. So anyways, guys, that is going to do it for this episode of our Montreal Canadiens franchise mode. So in next episode, we will have the draft and probably the re-sign stage. I don't know about free agency just because I might want your guys' input on an episode around that time, because I think this episode's going out on the Fridays, so next Friday, and then the episode after that would be the Monday. I might have to actually record that free agency episode on my own. I don't know. I'll see when I record it. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about our team and all of like the direction we're kind of heading with this team down below. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.